Hello students, today we will talk about Pythagorean Theorem. So this is your homework. I will help you solve a couple or three of the problems. You will have to show your work here where it says extra workspace at the back of this paper. First of all, we will have to explain again what is a Pythagorean Theorem. Okay, Pythagorean Theorem only works for right triangles. So, what is a Pythagorean theorem? It is the sum of the squares of the sides of a right triangle equals the square of its hypotenuse, which is the longest side. The formula that we're going to use is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. One of the legs, which is a, is 3 units long. Put it in second power. The other leg, leg b, is 4 units long. Put it in second power. Longest side is C, which is the hypotenuse, and it's 5 units long. Put it in second power. So here, we're going to be able to test whether the sum of the squares of the two sides of this right triangle will equal to the square of the C, the hypotenuse. Let's go ahead and work them out. Let's find the square of 3, which is going to be 3 times 3 equals 9. The square of 4 times 4 is 16. And the square of 5 squared is 25. They are equal on both sides. Therefore, the triangle is a right triangle. So, Pythagorean theorem is helpful to test whether a given triangle is a right triangle by doing this formula. Also, it is helpful to find the missing length of one side, whether it's this hypotenuse that's missing, or one of the legs, maybe the B or the A. The A and the B are interchangeable. You can call this A side, or this one, B side. But the longest side will always be the C, okay? Now let's go back to your homework. Read the direction. It says, write an equation that models and explains the Pythagorean theorem for each diagram. Then, determine or find or solve the missing length. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. First, write down the formula. Label the parts of the triangle. The longest side is always across the right angle. That's the C, the hypotenuse. While the legs will be the two sides that forms the right angle. So this could be the B and this could be the A, or you can interchange their names. But remember, the C will always be the C, which is the hypotenuse, the longest side. In this case, the B, the length of the B is missing. So let's go ahead and solve for the B. Substitute the given values. The B will still be B squared. So just bring it down. The C is 10 feet. Now use your TI Inspire calculator to get the square of 8. Now the square of 10. Now here you want the B squared to be alone. So remember how to solve for X, right? That's the same thing. We have to cancel the numbers around B squared by doing its opposite or inverse operation. Subtract 64 on both sides of the equation. Bring down the equal sign. 100 minus 64 is 36. Now the B squared is not completely alone because it has the square. We have to get rid of that by doing the square root on both sides of the equation. So put them inside a square root symbol. Square root of B squared is B, and the square root of 36 is 6. So now we have the length of one of the legs, which is 6 feet. Now let's solve for number 4 problem. This time it's the A that is missing one of the legs. Remember, the legs are the two sides that form the right angle, and the longest side is always across that right angle. Let's substitute. Get the square of each number. You want the A squared alone. Bring down the equal sign. Now get the square root of both sides. The length of one of the sides or legs is 24.2 yards, rounded to the nearest tenth. Now let's try to solve number 5. The length of the two legs are given. Side A is 50 millimeters and B is 50 millimeters, while the C, the longest side, is missing. Write down the formula, substitute the numbers, get the square of each number, bring down the equal sign, add the two legs, get the square root of both sides. The approximate length of the hypotenuse, the longest side, is 70.7 millimeters. So as you can see, the length of the longest side is always a higher value than any of the other legs. Okay? So it's so easy to identify which one is the length for the longest side. Determine whether each triangle with sides of given lengths is a right triangle. Justify your answer. So here we will try to figure out whether the 3 given measurements will form a right triangle by the use of Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And take note, the highest number is always for the hypotenuse, c. So 23 squared plus 18 squared is equal to 29 squared. Is it true? It's going to be false because 853 is not equal to 841. Therefore, in this case, the triangle is not a right triangle. Now work on number 10. Now let's move on to number 11. The hypotenuse of a right triangle is 15 inches, and one of its legs is 11 inches. Find the length of the other leg. Remember, it doesn't matter which leg is 11 inches. You can assign the B as the 11 inches or the A as 11 inches. Now write down the formula A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Now substitute the given values. Find the squares. Make the b squared alone. Now get the square root on each side of the equal sign. The approximate length of one of the legs is 10.2 inches, rounded to the nearest tenth. Good luck in completing the rest of your homework. Now don't forget, you can always watch this video over and over until you get it. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your classmates. Have a great day. Bye!